What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today. And today we have massive unboxing number 29 for you guys. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video. Today we have an epic massive unboxing in store for you guys. We have 15 epic models to go into detail today on, and I really hope you guys are excited for it. We have so many various sectors today, and I'm really excited to see what it's all about. I hope you guys are as well, and without any further delay, let's get into it, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to massive unboxing number 29. We have 15 awesome models to go into detail on today. I really hope you guys are excited for it, as like I said, there are so many various sectors today, and I'm really excited to dive into all of them. So without any further delay, let's just go ahead and get started, everybody. We're actually going to be starting off with the oddball right here. Right here we have the Aero Classics 1:400 scale Spirit Airlines Airbus A320. Super excited to have this model, as this was an outlier from massive unboxing number 28 that has been forwarded to 29. So I hope you guys are excited for this, and let's get started. So we have our typical Aero Classic box right here, with the baby bus models. Here's the aircraft itself, a new range from Aero Classics 1:400 scale, and all that fun detail. I know I have quite a few Spirit Airlines aircraft, but I thought I would get this one because it does have the filled in titles, which is a newer and for most of the fleet a pretty commonplace attribute of the livery, and I thought it would be a cool one to have. So without any further delay, here's the aircraft, everybody. Let's get in here and see what it is all about, and here we go. What a nice looking aircraft this is. Oh yeah, here we go. That is, Aero Classics. When you get a simple mold like this, aircraft can turn out really well, and that is exactly what this Spirit A320 is. Let's take a look at it, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, and here we go with the Aero Classics 1:400 scale Spirit Airlines Airbus A320 with the revised livery. I hope you guys are excited for this, as this is a really cool one. I didn't mean by filled in terms of the actual billboard titles themselves. I meant the engine, so my bad on that. But nevertheless, what a great looking aircraft this is. I'm really excited to dive into this one and see what it's all about. So without any further delay, everybody, let's get into it. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go with the aircraft. So we'll start right here with the cockpit windows that look super nice. We also have the panel right here in the Airbus A320 titles. Here's the L1 boarding door in the nose landing gear. Really good detail here, and like I said, when you get a simple mold in a really nice livery, it really comes together really well in my opinion. So this is looking really good. As you guys can see right here, we have some more panels, so really good job by Aero Classics for representing that detail. And then we have the nice and big banana bus, as they call it, with the Spirit billboard titles, So we have the SPIRIT with all the scratches throughout, so that's really cool. But the big difference with this model, and really the deal breaker for me with why I chose to get it, was it has the Spirit.com engines. Now, as you guys know, Spirit used to have the Bearfare titles on their engines, but as of late they've been revising them, and now they just have Spirit.com. So I thought it'd be really cool to have this diverse element to my Dallas Model Airport updates and for my collection, just in general. You know, I could say to a degree, but just in general. So really glad to get to see that right there, and that's fantastic. Here's the wings as well. Really good job by Aero Classics here for having a pretty slimline design for the two-piece mold. As you guys know, most of these aircraft that have two-piece molds, sorry about that, everybody, but what I was saying here is for these two-piece molds for the aircraft, sometimes they can be really obvious with the gaps, so really great job here by Aero Classics for making that neglectable, so that's fantastic. And then of course you have the fence tip, which has the yellow on it, so that's super cool, and the main landing gear also looks super good. In the back here, of course, you have the rest of the economy section, which is what Spirit offers, and a couple of big front seats, which I would love to try one day. And here's the Spirit Airlines tail. You have the Spirit SPIRIT here on the tail, which looks really nice. And we have the registration November 608 November Kilo. That is the tail number. We also have the US flag, and I think that is a fleet number down there, but underneath it. Sorry guys, I'm so excited because when I get models in front of me, I'm just like, oh man, I know I have so many, but it just never changes getting a new model. And then of course you have the horizontal stabilizers in the APU. On the right side of the aircraft, you have some nice details throughout as well, including the baggage doors, which is really nice. You have two really big ones here on the Airbuses, the narrow bodies that is, and then a small one as well, so that is really nice. The top of the aircraft is pretty standard. You do have a little beacon detail right there, so that's really nice. And then on the bottom right here, really nice detail as well with the nose, or with the main landing gear doors and all of those details. So what a nice aircraft this is. I'm super glad to have it. It's going to be a great component to the fleet. And like I said, a simple mold plus a nice livery equals a pretty good model. And even though this doesn't have aerials and that sort of thing, I think this one turned out super well. So good job by Aero Classics, and I'm really glad to have this model. What a nice model this is. Alrighty, everybody, so we have our next model on deck. Now this comes in from Waffle Collectibles. I'm super excited to have this one, as this is a Phoenix model, I believe, or a JC Wings, one of those two. And I saw this one previously. I decided to pass on it, but then thinking about it and wanting to expand my blank fleet, I decided to get it as I thought it would be a really nice component to that fleet. So let's unbox this here and see what's inside. Alrighty guys, so I'm super excited to have this aircraft, and I've been really looking forward to getting this aircraft. And this is the Phoenix models, 1:400 scale. Polar DHL Boeing 767-300 freighter. How about this for a little bit of a curveball? So this flies in Dallas-Fort Worth quite a bit, and I did get to see one of these during my recent visit there on December 28th, so I thought that it would be too good of an opportunity to pass on. And also, these are pretty prominent around the United States. I think that this will be quite helpful in various ways for various cargo routes, like out of Great Plains. I'm sure these might fly to Phoenix and maybe a future airport. We'll have to see, but nevertheless, I'm really excited to see how I can utilize this aircraft, and I think it's just a great component in general to my collection. So let's get started. Boeing 767, this is the 3JHF variant for the ER. Here's the aircraft itself for the CGI. We got the Polar November 644 Golf Tango DHL 1/4" scale. Now, it's been quite some time. I think this actually might be my very first Phoenix 767. So I got it for like 45 bucks. I thought that was too good of a deal to pass up on. Here's the back of the box as well. Really cool to see the Statue of Liberty on there. I think that's a really nice attribute. And you also have the Polar in DHL as well. So like I said, I'm very excited to have this aircraft, and I think it will make for a nice variety touch to the collection. So let's get it out right here and see what it's all about. Holy crap, that's looking good. How about that? Was really not expecting it to be looking this clean, but man, it sure is. Oh boy. Here we go, boys. Oh yeah. Yes, look at that. How about that? So I never have had a Polar model before, excuse me, but I thought that this would be the best of both worlds. And take a look at this. Yes, sir. Alrighty, everybody, and here's the Phoenix Models 1/400 scale Polar DHL Boeing 767-300 freighter. What a great looking aircraft this is. I'm really liking the mix and match between the blue, the red, and the yellow, and this is just, this is fantastic. What more can I say? Let's get into this, y'all. Alrighty guys, here we go. So we got the cockpit windows and the nose cone, which I think is done pretty nicely here on the Phoenix mold. We have the nose landing gear, and we also have some pitot tubes as well, which is very applicable. Here's the L1 boarding door, or it's not a boarding door. I'm so used to saying that for my passenger aircraft, but this is more just an L1 door in general. We have the red, I'm not sure if these are panels or something particular, but they are here, so that looks fantastic. We also got some more panels throughout, so good job getting the detail here. And here we go into the bulk of the aircraft. So here is the cargo door and the Polar title. So Polar is another really big cargo company. I know they fly a bunch of 747-400s and 800s, which is really cool, but they also have some partnerships with DHL, including this Boeing 767. You also have the beacon right here and the antenna, so those all look fantastic. Here are the engines right here. I think they got some really good detail on them, so I'm very glad to get to see that, along with the main landing gear, which also looks super nice. They did not pivot, unfortunately, but they still look really good. This proves my point here, exactly what I was talking about when it came to the two-piece molds. You can certainly see a very present gap here when it comes to Phoenix's Boeing 767. Every mold's different in their own way, and when you add in quality control and various other factors, every single two-piece mold is certainly different, but you can certainly see a gap here, and it is a little bit saturated because the camera view is lowered, so it is more present, but I'm looking at it probably, I don't know, like probably a 1.5 feet up, and I can't notice it as bad. So certainly not a deal breaker by any means, but you can certainly see it to a degree. So there we go. Here's the winglet as well, which is really cool. I'm always fascinated with how big these Boeing 767 winglets are, and you can see the Polar logo on there as well, which is super cool. So I really like how it's blue. It would have been interesting if it was like blue and yellow, but we do have the blue here, so that's fantastic. You can also see back there, you have that one, and there's a little emblem there on the top left. I don't know what it is, but not completely sure. This one also has it, so I don't think it's a issue. I think it's just what it's supposed to be, so pretty interesting there. We also have some additional detail here on the top and another US flag. Then we get into the DHL portion of this, so here's where the yellow starts for DHL. We have another antenna, actually two of them, excuse me, and then we have the DHL titles in the registration November 644 Golf Tango, and I'm assuming that says 767 there on the bottom, but I can't see it from here. Tail is very simple, just a little bit of yellow, and that's it. And it looks really good. Here's the right side of the aircraft. We got some very good details over here as well. And yeah, it's just really nice in general. There's so many various attributes to it. Top of the aircraft has some really nice details. You got all three of those antennas and some good wing detail. And on the bottom, trying to hold it nice and simply, we have two antennas, including, I've never seen one on the 767 mold. It's right here if you guys can see that. I'm sure you guys can barely see it, but as you guys can see, it's I think that's accurate. So that's really cool to get to see. Great job on the detail by Phoenix. We unfortunately do have one missing right here, which is very unfortunate. I will check the packing, but I am not going to call back on to try to get another one because I'm sure it's pretty hard to find, although it would be great, at least it's the bottom one, because you can't see the hole, so that's nice. But we do have the red one back here, which is super nice. So certainly unfortunate that that antenna is missing, but it's okay. But what a nice model this is. I'll check the packing really quick. Maybe I can find it, but yeah, these bottom antennas are super hard, and this does go right with the argument for Aeroclass not using them. So certainly interesting, but what a great looking model. I'm super glad to have this one, and this will be great for the Dallas Model Airport and the collection in general. Alrighty guys, so here we go with our next model. So I'm super excited to have this one. This actually came from the legend Aviation, so huge thank you to him. He was selling a good 24 models or so, and I thought this one would be a really nice component. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with it yet, and you guys will see what I'm referencing here in just a moment, but nevertheless, I'm super excited to have this one. Huge thank you to AS for selling these. I think that he was looking to buy some different ones, so certainly excited to have this, and let's see what it's all about. Thank you, Hottie, for the really nice note. I very much appreciate it. But here we go, everybody, with our next aircraft, and this is gonna be the, I think this is JC Wings 1-400 scale. Get ready for this, guys. This is a curveball for me. Just a blank Boeing 747-400. Yes, this is now in the collection. I'm really excited to have this aircraft, as what I was referencing is I'm not sure what I want to do with it. So I could turn it into a cargo aircraft. I could keep it blank. I could use it for various purposes. I'm not quite sure, but I thought that this would be a nice versatile aircraft to have in the collection, and this will be my first JC Wing 747-400. So I thought that this would be a really cool piece of the puzzle. So feel free to let me know what you guys think I should do with it, but I thought that this would be a really cool aircraft to have in the collection, and I'm certainly very, very excited to have this. So the box is as simple as they come. We got a hollow design here in the front, so that's really cool. The back's very simple. It just got one little JC Wings logo there in the bottom left, and yeah, it has nothing else to it. So let's get inside and see what a blank Boeing 747 is all about. And how about this JC Wings mold? This looks really nice. I'm very pleased with the effort right here, and let's see what the aircraft encompasses in general. Okay, we are missing an antenna. That's okay. I'll see if I can find it. Here is the aircraft itself, and this is looking fantastic. Love the detail here, and this is looking really good. And boys, I am fortunate enough to find the antenna. Woohoo! Alrighty, everybody, and here we go with the blank Boeing 747-400 by JC Wings. Super excited to have this aircraft, and man, what a unique one this one is. Huge thank you to AS Aviation once again. Please go check out his channel. He has some amazing content, from some of the best trip ports I've seen on YouTube to some really cool model airport updates, including updates from the United States and also Pakistan. He has some really cool model airports and just videos in general, and I highly recommend checking them out. But nevertheless, here we go with the blank Boeing 747-400. Certainly a really cool model, like I said. I'm really excited to have it and see what it's all about. So without any further delay, everybody, let's dive into it. Alrighty, everybody, here we go. So here we got the nose cone right here. We got the cockpit windows along with a little bit of smudging. I'm sure that wasn't on him, so no worries right there. We got all these passenger windows right here in the front, and then we got the second level right here, which is super cool in the Boeing 747. That's fantastic. A little bit of bopping there, but that's not the end of the world. This is not the first JC Wings aircraft that I have that does that, so all good right there. We have the L1 boarding door, or L1 and L2 boarding doors, I should say, and even more windows. Really cool to see the mix match between the shaded and the open ones. I think that's a really cool attribute of this. And then we have the top antenna, which I was lucky enough to find, so I'm feeling very fortunate there, and the bottom one as well, which is fantastic. So really good diversity there. That's awesome. Here's the wing right here, another really prime example of what we were just referencing when it comes to the two-piece. This one certainly isn't as noticeable, but you can see it from the lower perspective, but again, not a huge deal to me, so no worries there. And then we have the beautiful engine. So here we have on the left side, we have these two. Really nice to get to see the diversity there, and one is a bunch lower than the other one, so certainly interesting, but I think it looks really good, so I'm glad to get to see that. We have some slats, flaps, and speed brake detail, and we also have the winglet type. I'm not sure if it's actually a winglet, but pretty cool to say the least right there, so certainly glad to get to see that. We also have the middle right here, which is fantastic, including the L3 door, L4 door, and the L5 door, the back antenna, and then of course we have no registration since it's blank, so that's certainly very interesting. And then we have the tail as well, and the tail is so big I'm going to have to raise you guys up for it. As you guys can see, we have some really good rudder detail and all that fun stuff, so I'm glad you could see that, and the horizontal stabilizers, of course. On the right side, we have some nice detail as well, including the luggage door, cargo bin door, whatever the proper term would be on these bigger airplanes. So you can see that one there in the front, and all the R doors, and this one here in the back, and also little luggage doors. So this is a really nice model. I am super glad to have it, and I'm really eager to see how I can utilize it. We also got a stand hole, so that's really nice, and some good detail here on the bottom. Feel free to shoot me some suggestions. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. If you guys have any thoughts for this aircraft, I'm sure there's various ways I could use it, or I could just use it all blank and just fill it in where it needs to be. But nevertheless, I'm really excited to utilize this aircraft. I hope you guys are excited to see it. And again, huge thank you to AS Aviation. Please go check out his channel. Fantastic guy, and he very much deserves all the support he can give. Thank you so much, buddy. Alrighty everybody, so here we go with our next box. So this is actually my first international order in a very long time, so I'm really excited to have this aircraft. This was actually a pretty different one for me, but I'm really glad to have this. So if you guys may know Skyly on Instagram, she wanted me to get this exact aircraft so that we could have a route between our airports for Great Plains, and I finally gave in. I really never heard of this airline, to be quite honest, but then I was like, you know what, this would be a really cool piece of the puzzle, and I know that you want to have the route. So this is for you, Skyly. I know you wanted to see this, so I hope you're excited for this. This comes all the way from Hong Kong. It was only like $50, and the shipping went really quick. I was very impressed. It was only like $10 shipping. So let's get into this because I know she's going to be super happy to see this. So a very unique piece to my international fleet, and I'm really excited to have it. So you guys may already be recognizing it, but as I take it out of the bubble wrap right here, we have another JC Wings. I forgot this was JC 1:400 scale Air Premia Boeing 787-9. So another twist to the puzzle. So this is going along with my next sector. So the first sector of this unboxing was the cargo planes. Now we have some new international planes for Great Plains. So let me bring in the other two that I'm referencing so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. So as you guys can see, let's talk about these all in detail for a moment. We have the Air Premia Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, the South African Airways Airbus A350-900, and a China Southern Airbus A380 by JC Wings. So all three of these aircraft are going to be great components of the Great Plains Model Airport. As you guys know, that's became a staple on my channel, and my goal with that airport is to continue to diversify the aircraft that's also in it, the aircraft types, but also just to continue to get a broader scope of what aviation is as a whole when it comes to international airlines, cargo, military, etc. And I'm working on all those elements piece by piece. And I asked my mom for Christmas if I could get some international planes. I pretty much told her no American Airlines, no Southwest, all that sort of deal. And I said I would be really happy to get some new international planes. So those were the two she came up with. So huge bravo to her for not mixing up and getting like an airline already had or something. She really did her research while I was away at college. So huge bravo to her. She did a really good job. And then the Air Premium, like I said, is to fulfill our route, my route to Skyly's airport. So I'm really excited to have all three of these, and like I said, these will all have great components in the Great Plains Model Airport. I'm really excited to assess all these. So let's get started with the Air Premia Boeing 787-9 by JC. So if you guys don't know, Air Premia is a low-cost carrier in Korea. They have a really nice fleet of 787s. I don't think they have any other wide bodies, but again, I literally did not hear about this airline until Skyly told me. So this is what we have, and this will make for a great route to the Great Plains Model Airport, and it will go on to her airport after it comes into mine from, I can't even tell you where they're based, to be honest. She just told me to get it, and I did. So here we go. All right, so we got the Boeing 787-9. We got the Dreamliner right here. Here is the orange, the hollow piece, the orange. Boeing licensing 1:400 scale die-cast model aircraft. This is really nice. We have the X-Ray 492 right here, so very unique. Reminds me quite a bit. I'm trying to think of which livery that it reminded me of with the font up there on the top. There was another airline that had a font similar to that. So certainly very excited for this. This will be great, and I know she will be very pleased with this. So here we go with the Air Premia Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner by JC Wings, and she is looking very nice. How about this? Very cool aircraft, and here it is, JC Wings Air Premia 787-9. Alrighty everybody, and here we go with the JC Wings 1:400 scale Air Premia Boeing 787-9. How about this for an aircraft? Skyly, I hope you are super glad that I have this now. I know that you've been looking very forward to this, and yes, it'll be a great component to the Great Plains Model Airport. It's going to be funny because I've been sequencing my massive unboxings in such a way that they've been coming out on a monthly basis. So this is probably coming out like March or April, but I've been trying to keep it consistent. But you guys probably already saw this in the Model Airport updates if you got to watch that. So, but nevertheless, we are here now, and I'm super excited to take a more in detailed look at this aircraft. I'm sorry guys, I'm just okay, let's take two steps back here. The excitement that comes out when it comes to model airplanes for me, as you guys can tell, is kind of ridiculous. So I'm going to try to step it back, but I'm just really excited. So let's take a look at this, guys. Alrighty guys, here we go. We got the cockpit windows in the L1 door right here. Here's the nose landing gear. Really nice to get to see the detail on that in the door as well, which is fantastic. This JC Wings mold has certainly grown on me very much, as GeminiJets has been using it as of late, and now I finally got one from JC. We have the Air Premia title, so Premia is spelled P-R-E-M-I-A, so certainly glad to get to see that. Probably some sort of first class or business or something. I think they're a low-cost carrier, so I don't think they would have much for first and business, but maybe they do, I'm not sure. So that would probably be be up here if it is. We have the L2 door and the antenna. A really nicely designed Wi-Fi box. I'm very pleased with that effort. That's fantastic. And if you're going to do a 2-wing piece mold, in my opinion, this is how it should be done. No gap, really nice and streamlined. I'm very impressed. Good job, JC. We have the engines right here, which are also really nice, and some elite flap, slat, and speed brake details. So that's really nice. The wing, no flex. It looks so good. I love it. Good job, JC. We have the landing gear, which also look really good. So glad you could see that. The L3 and L4 door, and we also have the Dreamliner titles, which is fantastic. Hotel Lima 8387, I believe, is our tail number on this aircraft. And we also have the really cool design of what appears to be window shades or something along those lines in orange on the tail, and the tail is a navy-ish color, which is really cool. Right side of the aircraft is very similar, although we do have the cargo bin doors, which is really cool. So you're going to find the big one and then the two in the back, the big and small, so that's really nice. And yes, how about Air Premia? Super glad to have this aircraft in the collection. This will be a great component right here. I'm super glad to have this one, and this will be great for the route at Great Plains to Skyley's Airport. So definitely check those updates out if you haven't. They're really good, but certainly glad to have this. Skyley, I hope you're glad that this is in the collection now. And yeah, we have even more components to add on to this, so let's get into those. Alrighty everybody, next up we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale South African Airways Airbus A350-900. So like I was just talking about with the Air Premia earlier, with all three of these new wide-body aircraft, what I'm really trying to do as my US narrow-body fleet has really been developed really nicely, and obviously I'm still adding on to that, but what I'm really trying to do with some other assets is really try to build my collection to have some really diverse elements, and that this aircraft fulfills one of those desires really nicely, as this is my very first airline from Africa, which is super cool. And I know that they're unfortunately gone at this point, but I thank Mom so much for getting this for me. I've always had a big fascination with the A340-600 for them, and the livery, while simple, is super cool, and this aircraft will do a great job to demonstrate that at Great Plains, because they'll obviously operate there since it's a fictional airport, and just in general to have South African Airways. I believe this came out in July of 2020, June or July. So I'm really excited to have this aircraft, and like I said, it'll be a great component to the Great Plains Model Airport, operating to, I think it was Johannesburg or Cape Town for them, but nevertheless, we'll figure that out, and I promise I will do my research before I say it, because I know after TUI, you guys are probably done with me and not doing my research. So anyways, without any further delay, without further ado, let's get started. Typical GeminiJets box, you guys know the verbiage, the signage, whatever you guys would like to call it, the labelage, I don't know. So we got all that detail going here, so here it is. It looks really good though, nice and simple. Gemini, of course, did have the updated titles during this time. 2020 release, like I said, I believe it's July, but it may have been June. It came out with the Bamboo 789, the I want to say there might have been like a United 333, maybe a American 788, all those. So yeah, really good times, throwing it back to the pandemic. But yes, here is the aircraft. Here's the pamphlet if you guys would like to read up on. It's going to be talking about the 350, but no South African Airways. Kind of wish Gemini did throw in a paragraph about the airline, but I understand the, you know, obviously it's not going to be as convenient for them, so I understand that part of it. But yeah, South African Airways, welcome to the collection. My very first airline from the continent of Africa, and I think I have almost every continent, if not I do, outside of the South or Antarctica, excuse me. I about said South Pole, because I saw Jeb Brooks's video the other day, which is old at this point, but I got to see that the other day, and that was really cool that you got to go there on various aircraft, 340, DC-3, yeah, and all those. So here we go. South African's Airbus A350-900 is now in the collection, and this thing is fantastic. Look at this. Wow. It's very unique. As you guys can see, we have some really cool designs here, beginning with the JC wings here in the top left. China Southern right here, you got it in Chinese and also English. Here's the logo right here. You got the really cool blue across here with the Sky Team. Airbus JC wings, their logo once again, Airbus A380 again. It's kind of all over the place in this one, but it looks really good. Got the China Southern right there. Here's the side of the box. It looks really good. Die-cast model aircraft, so they're advertising the die-cast, which is very cool. And yeah, pretty typical JC wings box that has some really unique character to it. In the back also has some really cool specifications and some design elements. So let's take a look at those, and also some copyrights and that sort of thing. But of course, this is an Airbus aircraft, thus leading to the Airbus manufacturer. The overall length is 72.72 meters. I think that's what that would be. And then the wingspan is 79.75 meters. The height is 24.09 meters, and the number of engines is 4. Those engines are the RR Trenton 900. So really nice and diverse there, and certainly glad to get to see all those elements. As I take the box out of the way, I will bring back in my fourth Airbus A380, and here it is. very glad to have this one, as this is a really cool model. I had 3 leading up to this. I have the Emirates A380, Qantas A380, and British Airways A380, and my 4th will be this China Southern Airbus A380. So this model is really cool for a variety of reasons. So huge thank you to my mom for surprising me with this model for Christmas, along with the South African Airbus A350-900. Both are really cool models and will be great elements of the great planes. I kind of asked if she would be willing to get some international planes for Christmas, since she was looking for Christmas gift ideas, and she certainly did. So good job to her for coming through. She did an outstanding job not getting an airline I already had and that sort of thing. So really impressed with her efforts there. And to go along with that, I actually had a China Southern aircraft as a younger individual. Back in 2012 when I started collecting, I don't know why, and I don't have it at all anymore. I don't know what happened to it, but I had a China Southern Boeing 787-8, which was really cool. I have no idea who the brand was, probably JC to be quite honest, but I had it, and it was in a couple of airport updates on my original channel and on my Instagram, and I never ended up finding it, so I don't know what happened, but it's really cool to have a China Southern aircraft to reunite with, and I'm certainly very glad to have this one. So without any further delay, let's get into this beautiful aircraft, as it is super nice. Alrighty, so beginning up here with the cockpit windows, they look really nice in this aircraft. You got some windshield wipers. The nose cones looks really good, as you guys can see by that design. That looks really cool. The nose landing gear and nose landing gear door look really good. We've got some pitot tubes and the L1 door, the L1 and L2 boarding doors. Here's the China Southern titles in Chinese, I believe, so that looks really cool. And we also got the antenna and the Wi-Fi box. We also got a really cool panel right here that I really like, and some down here as well, so that looks really cool. As we advance the aircraft, we also have a panel right here. Then we got some really good details, some red, I don't think these are beacons, but something along those lines right here. Then we got the first upper door, and it's just crazy to think about the proportions of the A380's fuselage itself. Here's the pencil for reference. You can see how huge it is. It's literally almost triple the size of the pencil here. If you really put it here on the bottom, it's really impressive. We also have the wing roots right here. Really good job to not have too much of a gap there, so that's really nice. I'm glad to get to see that. And then we have the China Southern English right here as well, and the really nice blue line, navy line, and another blue line, and also a gold line. So some really nice variety there, and it makes the China Southern livery look really unique in its own way. Here are those Trent 900s. They look really nice, as you guys can see. I'll kind of see if I can give you guys a fan blade view. Really cool to get to see that, and as you guys can see, it looks really nice there inside. Really good detail here by JC, and it looks really good. Speaking of detail, how about these slats, feed brakes, and flaps? They are super detailed, and they got great detail throughout, so I'm super impressed. You also got China Southern right here. I assume that's what that is. I keep forgetting what the names of these are. I can't believe I keep forgetting, but we have them on here as well, so that's really cool. And then getting back into the fuselage as we go, we also have the main landing gear down there as well, but we got this antenna right here, and then we got this L3 door, unless if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm not exactly sure, but I would think it would go 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 would be my guess. But nevertheless, this door's right here across the wing. I guess it's not technically an emergency exit, so that's pretty interesting. Then we have this door right here and this one, and then we have the beautiful Airbus A380-800 titles. We have this door, and I think these are pads to get down if you had a land evacuation for your emergency exit. The yellow slide would come out, and then it must be huge. I've never seen it demonstrated, but that I would assume is what this box is right here. And really cool to get to see the windows, how some of them are shaded over and some are open. That's really cool. Tail number Bravo 6137. And then really cool to also see the gray to the white right here. That's really nice. And then the beautiful tail itself. Let me zoom it out just a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. As you guys can see, we have the beautiful logo here for China Southern. Not exactly sure what it's supposed to represent, but we have 2 outer pieces, 3 dots on top, and then some sort of design there at the bottom. Kind of looks like an upside down bell. I'm not exactly sure what they're going for here. We also have the beautiful horizontal stabilizers and APU detail to complement all this. The right side is very similar to the left, although we do have the beautiful cargo bin door, absolutely huge, and you can certainly see the outlines on it, so that's really cool. On the back, you also have the similar component right there, and also a really small one here as well. Let me see if I can zoom you guys out. Of course I want macro, so let me see if I can get it off macro, because macro is just no fun. There we go. I wanted the camera logic to be better, but of course it's not. This will do. Here's the top of the aircraft. You can see some really good detail. You got China Southern there on the left side in Chinese, and then on the right side you got the Bravo 6137.
And let me see if I can get it up top. Try to get it in the frame, but you can see the antenna there on the bottom, the stand hole, the nose land or the main landing gear doors, indentations, which is really nice. And then of course you got the landing gear. I believe this has 22 tires on it, which is super impressive. The horizontal stabilizers have really good detail there, as you can see with the indentations for the control surfaces, and they look really nice. So man, really good job by JC Wings here. This is a fantastic model with some really good detail on it. I am thoroughly impressed. Let me see if I can bring it back up here so you guys can see it a little bit better. So yeah, really cool to have this model after, of course, having China Southern in the past, and this will be a great component to the Great Plains Model Airport. So now we have China Southern, Emirates, Qantas, and British Airways will all be bringing in the Airbus 380 and from their respective destinations. China Southern seems like a pretty cool airline. I don't know a whole bunch about them besides that they have some really cool planes, 787s, A380s, etc. I don't even know where they're based in China, so I really need to get my international game on so I can know about all these elements and continue to learn and know when it comes to obviously having practical conversations where all these aircraft fly to. But at the very least, a very nice aircraft, and I'm certainly really glad to have it, as the sun gives us some really nice light to digest it. So like I said, it's a beautiful model. I highly recommend it. I think my mom got this from Panaflex Toys. I'm sure they have some in stock if you're looking for it. It's a really nice model, and it is really nice. So really, really good one. Super glad to have this. So China Southern certainly adding some dimensions to the collection, and like I said, I'm very glad to have it. What a great model, and please go pick it up if you're interested. It's a really cool one with some great diversity to the lineup.
Sorry about that, everybody, but man, this is an exceptional aircraft. Just look at the detail on it. It is super impressive, and I'm so glad to have it. It's so big I can't even show you guys it, but really cool. No JC Wings logo, but we do have a stand hole. All those tires, so we have 6, 12, 16, 20, 22 tires. That's impressive. And we also got the tail number there on the right, Bravo 6137. Also, probably China Southern and Chinese would be my guess. So what a great aircraft. I'm so glad to have this one. This will be great at Great Plains flying to, I'm forgetting where they fly to, where their main hub is out of China, but this is going to be a great component to the collection, and what a cool model to have in general. Alrighty, everybody, so here's our last box of the day, but I believe we have like 9 models in here, so really excited for this. This comes from the Midwest Model Store. I would highly recommend ordering from them. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I mean it when I say it. I've not heard many issues at all, and they do a really good job with their service. Very prompt when it comes to shipping out aircraft, and they are super good. So really highly recommend the Midwest Model Store. They are awesome. I've had a really good experience. I've ordered dozens of models from the Midwest Model Store, and I have not regretted a single purchase. And I've had a couple of defective models that I've been able to send back easily. So that's been really nice, and I've really enjoyed that. So let's get in here and take a look at this beautiful aircrafts, excuse me, because I know we have several in here, and I've been looking forward to this box because I know there's a bunch of models in here. So let's go ahead and get started because we have a bunch, several duplicates as a disclaimer. Okay, so here we go. So as you guys can see, we have several Boeing 737-800s for American Airlines. This is the most recent release, November 903, November. I believe we have 3 of these in here, and I will talk about the reason I chose to get 3, since you guys already know I have like 9 or something ridiculous, which is going to be fantastic to have those. And then let me see if I can get in here. Sorry, it's very tight. I'm impressed that I was able to get this many in here. Then we have the Southwest 737-700 in Colorado one with the hardtail. Super excited to have this, as the hardtail is now common on the Colorado one, so I'm really glad to have that. So another great special livery. We have another special livery that's made up to the 737-800. Let me see if I can get it out here. That is the Southwest Tennessee 737-800. So I'm super glad to have this, and this will be a great component to the collection, and I hope to get to see it at some point in the future, so that's fantastic. I'll go ahead and get this guy out to make the other one easier, but here's another 737-800 for American Airlines. And then we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700. This is in the Canyon Blue livery with the blended winglets. So this will be another fantastic addition to the collection, and I'm really excited to see what this one's all about. So that will be awesome. And then right here we have another American Airlines 737-800. This is the final one, I promise, but I'll talk about it here in just a moment, like I said. So we will take a look at that here in just a moment. And then lastly, we have 2 really exciting aircraft. So this is the very first 787-8 by NG NG Models, American Airlines. Really excited to see this, and hopefully this is going to be a great model. I'm really excited to have this, like I said, and I have two of these, and I'll kind of talk about my reasoning and all the details here in just a moment. But we have two Dreamliners from American Airlines in an invoice. So let's go ahead and get into all these models. Really nice, and here is the final, as all the packing paper comes out, the final 787-8. So what we'll do here is we'll start with the American 737s, then we'll do, in this order, Canyon Blue, Colorado 1, Tennessee, and the Dash 8s. So let's get started. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go with three American Airlines Boeing 737-800s. Sorry, I got that one backwards on accident. So you guys are probably wondering why I chose to get three after I have an NG, two Apollos, two Gemini, or I'm sorry, three of the original Gemini release, a 2015 release, and an NG 2019. So here's my logic. So as you guys know, this model is really good. I saw pictures and I was super impressed, so I chose to get three of them. I'm probably going to move on from one Apollo, 1 to 2 of the Gemini 2013s, and that will make up for the difference here, because I'm not displeased with the quantity of American 737s I have, but I think the quality can be improved, and that is the intention of getting all three of these. So if you guys are interested in either the 2013 Gemini or the Apollo 737, feel free to hit me up if I haven't already sold them at this point, and I'll be sure to let you know. And there's a couple of others that I'm also working towards as well. So again, I don't know if I've sold them at this point or not, so feel free to comment and I will do my best to get back to you. But for the sake of convenience today, let's get into just one. So this will really test NG's QC to see if it's elite, but hopefully it is. So let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go with the 2022 American Airlines Boeing 737-800. I'm really excited for these. They have Wi-Fi boxes. They're really good. The color is fantastic, and this is going to be awesome. So let's go ahead and get into this. Boeing 737-800, here's the aircraft itself. We got a lighter red, darker red, mid-tone red, and some gray shades and some white. So a really neat box design. I really like it. American Airlines NG, November 903, November, and the box is really cool here. So again, I'm super excited to have three of them. We will review one, but we will get all three out right here to see if they're all looking good. So really eager to see this, and I'm hoping none of them are broken, but again, QC is QC. We do have blue this time, blue cards, so that's really cool, from the August 2022. So they do go ahead and make these a little bit quicker, and then they end up inserting them into the aircraft. But nevertheless, here we go with number one, and man, this is literally what I want in an American 737. This is fantastic. Good, and good. NG, how about that? So number one is good. The color is fantastic, man. I know that I've been a big guy on the American Airlines color for years, but I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That's outstanding. Very impressed with that effort. That is fantastic. Very comparable to the logo on the winglet, I believe. But again, I'm going to have to do some more looking here in just a moment. Let me get this card out because I forgot that. At some point, maybe I'll be able to utilize them, but of course, NG Models has not got their CRP going, so hopefully they do at some point. Number two, let's see how number two is looking. Get the card. These are looking good, man. I'm impressed. Three of them, man. I bought three. Surely we don't get all three in good condition. I mean, I'm just, wow, NG. I know there's been a bunch of QC issues. Okay, yeah, the antenna was slightly out there, but I mean, that's neglectable when you can just put it back in. But I know that that's still not perfect, but still, that is really impressive. The conga line, this is starting to become a conga line. And then we have one more. Can the third one hold it out for us, or do we get a broken one? Let's take a look. The card fell out, no problem. Let me throw that off to the side. And here is the third 737-800 for American Airlines. Let's see how this one looks. And it's looking really good right now. Boom, 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 boom. Three perfect American 737-800s. I am thoroughly impressed. How about that? Alrighty, everybody, and here we go with the conga line of NG Models 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 737-800s. We have three of them here, and they look absolutely amazing. So I do not regret my decision whatsoever, because this is the kind of model I want in those updates. This is fantastic. It's super nice, and you know, if to be ideal, what I could do is sell all my old ones, but I really like having a version of every single one to kind of compare and contrast and that sort of thing. So I think 3 is the perfect number, and I'm sure NG will do it again as they did in 2019. But this version, I mean, man, I'm honestly not opposed to going back and getting 3 more of them. This is fantastic. So let's take a look and see what this is all about. Alrighty, everybody, here we go. What a nice looking model. I am so glad to have this, and man, this is fantastic. Loving the detail here. Let's just go ahead and get started. Alrighty, everybody, here we go. So here's the nose cone, looking really good. Good to see all that detail. Excuse me. We got the pitot tubes, nose landing gear door, and then we have the L1 boarding door, which is fantastic. Here's the American Airlines billboard titles. Loving the detail here. The logo looks super good along with the American. Just take a look at this gray shade. I mean, NG on point today. This is fantastic. Super pleased with this effort, and man, that's fantastic. That's really, really nice. I'm super pleased with this. Got the antenna on the bottom side, and then the top one, the CFM56 engine right here, which is super nice. I believe that's the Dash 7 variant, 7 or 5. I think it's the 7. We have the main landing gear right here, which is fantastic, and the two back antennas, and we also have the beautiful winglets. So glad you get to see the detail, and of course, I got the logos, and now the normals with the Wi-Fi box. Speaking of which, there is the Wi-Fi box. It looks super nice, and I'm very pleased with the proportions, so good job by NG. We also have the November, 903 November, and the beautiful tail. Really good job on the blue and red. I think it looks super nice, and I'm certainly very glad to get to see the detail right there. It's just a nice, simple American 737. It's one of my favorite planes. I know you guys are probably going to be like, is it really? Yes, it is. And it looks really nice. I love all the detail. The wings are beautiful. They got really nice detail in there, and we got the beautiful tail as well. Top of the aircraft is super nice with some more very precise detail, and the bottom is also really good too. What a great model. So glad to have these, and these will be critical components going forward at all the model airports. Next up, we have the NG models, 1:400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the Canyon Blue livery. So starting out with the conga line with the normal livery. So certainly glad to get this. I know the Canyon Blue livery is very quickly fading away, but still a fantastic livery, and I thought this would be a really nice component to the collection. I do have two GeminiJets versions of this, but I thought the NG one would be a really nice counterpart and look really good with them. So here's the box. Really simple Canyon Blue design. You got the orange, blue, red, and orange. I wish they would have done every one a little bit bigger, but I kind of get the proportions deal of it. So, but it would have been kind of cool to see maybe something else here and have just the 3 shades. But I think it still looks really good. I'm not complaining. Southwest November 957 Whiskey November is the tail number they chose to go with. And here is the box itself. It looks really nice with some various characteristics to it. So really excited to see this model, hopefully in good condition. And yes, let's begin the conga line of Southwest 737-700s with this one. There is the character card as well. Stacking those, I would love to be able to use them. So NG, please go to work on letting us be able to use those. And I think we're going to be in good shape with another 737-700. Yes, we are as of right now. A little bit of a gap there, but I'm not complaining. This is fantastic. I'm going to double. Yeah, that's sturdy. We'd love to see it. Also, I believe the packing has changed. This is different from the last time. I think that this is higher up, which is certainly super interesting. So that looks really nice. Let me know if you guys have noticed that change, but I believe that is new packing. So that is another very appreciated attribute of the packaging. Alrighty, everybody, here's the NG models, 1:400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 Canyon Blue with blended winglets. Man, this is really nice. I am so glad to have this model. This will be a great piece to the puzzle, and it's really nice and simple. I'm so glad to have it, and, well, not the mold, but I mean just the livery. It's just so nice, and I'm really glad to have this one. So let's take a look at it, guys. Alrighty, everybody, here we go. We got the cockpit windows and nose cone looking super good. Here's the nose landing gear door. Good job by NG for the detail there. That looks super nice. Here we go with the red underbelly and the Canyon Blue top. I think it looks super cool with the L1 boarding door right here. And then, of course, we have the full cabin itself. Southwest is a low-cost carrier, and they have all economy seats, so that's what you're going to be finding throughout here. You got the top antenna and the emergency exit right here, and the beautiful CFM56 engine as well. There's the emergency exit pad along with the flap slat and speed brake detail. Really good job here on the Southwest.com winglets. Back in the day, this would have been very desired, so I'm really glad that we're getting it now here in 2022. What I'm referencing here is the really nice quality mold rather than the actual aircraft, because we did get it in 2014, and that was huge, even though the Heart livery was already out. But none of us knew that Southwest is going to try to keep this livery for nearly 10 years before they repainted them all, so that ended up working out really well. Speaking of which, we have the Wi-Fi box. Really cool to get to see that detail in the registration, like I said, November 957 Whiskey November, and the beautiful Canyon Blue tail steering with the blue, then the red, then the orange. The right side of the aircraft's also really nice. You got some good details throughout here. I think it looks super good, and the luggage doors also look fantastic, and just loving this. So yeah, this is really cool. After getting to fly several Canyon Blue aircrafts throughout my span, I'm really glad that I got the model here from NG as well. I don't know if I've seen this particular tail number. It wouldn't surprise me if I have, but I'm really glad to have this one. This will be a great component, and I really hope I can fly just one more Canyon Blue aircraft before they're all gone. So maybe I'll be fortunate enough to do that, but hey, I at least got to see see many of them, and I'm not taking that for granted, so I'm super glad to have that one. So let's already just pan it into our next one. Might as well do no transition. So our next aircraft up is another Southwest aircraft. This, I'm kind of liking sliding in the box. Let me know what you guys think about that. But this is the 737-700 in the Colorado 1. So as you guys know, I think it was massive unboxing, oh boy, 4, I believe, is when we got my Canyon Blue one from GeminiJets, and now we finally have the NG iteration. So certainly glad to get to see this, and I hope they do many more to come. I know Gemini's done many of them at this point, but I would still love a few that Gemini hasn't done. What are some that are coming to mind? I feel like I have nearly the whole fleet, but I know Nevada was a big one till they repainted that recently. NG is going to be doing the Desert and the Canyon Blue retros, and the Illinois one I have on order. It unfortunately sold out at the Midwest Model Store, so that's why it's not in this batch model, so I apologize about that. I'm trying to think of other aircraft that were missing in 400 special livery wise, but Gemini's done many of them, and NG did Missouri. And then these two that just got done, these 800s, now the other Max retros. So I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure some will come to mind at some point. But nevertheless, still super pleased to get to see the effort presented here, and this is fantastic. So here we go with the Colorado 1 Boeing 737-700. We got the Colorado flag. Really cool to get to see it. It looks like they did it backwards, but that's okay because I'm sure it probably fits in with the other box because this is how I see it at least. But maybe they did like the other C on the other side. I don't know, but this still looks fantastic. Or they could have did on this side and had the C like this, so I'm not completely sure. I should go look at the picture, but this looks really nice. Southwest registration November 230 Whiskey November, Colorado 1 NG Models. Now I have got to see this aircraft many times, predominantly in the Canyon Blue tail, but I did get to see the new tail at, I want to say it was Denver, but I think that was Maryland, so maybe I haven't seen this with the new tail yet. I probably haven't. So still, though, nevertheless, I'm so glad to have it, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I think it was only Maryland I've seen with the new tail. I don't think I've got to see Colorado one with the new tail. So certainly a really cool model, nevertheless, and hoping for a nice one. Let's take a look. So another character card, there we go. Or not character card, I'm sorry, but CRP card, and hopefully we will be getting to utilize that very soon, because as you guys can tell, you can stack them really quick if you get all these NGs. And talk about QC from NG today, they've been killing it. How about another really nice model with Colorado 1? Alrighty everybody, and here we go with the NG models. 1/400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the Colorado 1 livery. This model is looking really nice. The first element that really stood out to me was the navy color, and I think that it might be slightly too dark. Here's the GeminiJets one for reference, and I think that Gemini got it a little bit closer. It is very neglectable, so it's not a huge issue, but I did just want to note that for anybody that may be curious on that. And the white also seems a little bit different too. Honestly, all the colors do, but I don't think it's a big deal. It looks like Colorado 1 to me. I'm not complaining, of course, just simply noting everything that's going on. I think this is a gorgeous model with the mold and all the various elements that make it what it is. So let's take a look at it and see what it's all about. Alrighty guys, here we go. So we got the cockpit windows, and then we got the Colorado 1 titles right here. We got some details throughout, including nose landing gear door, the Southwest heart, and then we got the L1 boarding door, including the C with the orange O for the Colorado flag, which is really cool. So certainly glad to get to see that. Here's the main part of the fuselage. So of course the Colorado flag has this navy that goes up and around, and then the white goes all the way down, so that's really cool. And then we got a nice mix match here on the engine, which is really cool. And then the bottom navy part begins, so that's very nice to get to see with all the various detail. We got the 2 antennas and the Wi-Fi box, so that's really cool. And then we have the registration. This one, and I think it's Missouri and maybe Florida, are always really hard to see with this gray on top of the white. It's really kind of challenging, but tail number is November 230 Whiskey November. And then of course the big difference with this one is it now has the heart tail, as Southwest finally repainted it. Nevada was the final one, I think, that did not have the heart tail. I could be wrong on that, but I know Colorado, Maryland, and Nevada were kind of the last couple there before they got them all repainted. And as Southwest gets that Max 8 retro going, then they're kind of, I think, starting to really fastly fade these out. Here's a comparison to the Gemini with the tail, just for fun. Oh, sorry about that. You can really see the difference in the height between the two models. I think that is predominantly the GeminiJets main landing gear angle, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, here's another look at the color. Again, this isn't a huge deal to me. I'm just simply noting it for anybody that's curious or noticed it as well. But I can certainly see the GeminiJets iteration has a lighter blue to it. You know, in some situations they do look comparable, but I definitely see, to my eye, naturally looking at it behind the camera, that the blue on the Gemini is lighter, which I think is closer to being correct. I will look it up real quick just to see if there's any particular
pictures that show it. I was going to look up the Colorado flag, but that probably is not a very good idea. So let me look at the actual airplane itself and see what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, I see really a bunch of both. Predominantly, I would lean toward the GeminiJets color because it seems like in most situations, keyword most situations, that's a little bit lighter. But I do see some lighting situations where the picture, where it's darker too. So really, it's honestly a little of both, to be quite honest. I see it in both connotations. So honestly, I'm not too upset with it because I mean, it literally changes by the lighting situation. Literally, I see some where it's really light and I see some where it's really dark, and that's in really clear sunny conditions. Not only like, you know, midday during midday, but also like at evening. So I see a bunch of both, and that's certainly interesting to me. So let me know what you guys think, but honestly, I like it in its own way. I think that's the best way to look at this model, and it's a really good one. So I'm certainly glad to have it. Very good job here by NG Models, and this will be a great component to the collection for many years to come. Alrighty guys, next up we have the NG Models 1:400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Tennessee 1 livery. Super glad to have this aircraft, as well as this will be a great, not really a replacement, but kind of for the 700 that I have, because obviously Southwest moved it up to the 800 when they retired that 700. So now we have Tennessee 1 and Illinois 1 both on 800. So excited to get Illinois 1. It would have been really good for this video along with the Desert, but this order obviously came as it was. So why not do it at intervals? And we will start here with Tennessee 1 today. So let's get into it. Boeing 737-800 got the Southwest, and then we got the box, which is a pretty interesting design here with the red going out and the blue on the bottom and the yellow. I think Syracuse Aviation wasn't a big fan of it, and I kind of see why. It's very different, I think it's the right way to word it, but I kind of see what they were going for. So certainly very interesting. You get the registration November 8620 Hotel, and 19 Foxtrot is the Illinois. I believe these were both Canyons before. I could be completely wrong on that, but I know Southwest is quickly repainting all of those into the current colors, or hopefully some more specials. Hopefully we get Nevada back as well. That is the one that got retired in November, I believe. So hopefully we get to see that. It would be interesting on 800, but I think like a Max 7 or something maybe would work better for that. And hopefully debut of Georgia 1, because I know they have a huge operation out of Atlanta, Hartsville, Jackson, but I don't think it's a crew base. So who knows though? I know Albuquerque's done, they have New Mexico, so who knows, but nevertheless, here we go. And Albuquerque may have been previously one. I know they've dropped some destinations over the years, so not completely sure, but nevertheless, let's see what Tennessee 1 is all about, and that is looking fantastic. Loving the detail. NG's QC has been really good. Is it going to be jinxed right here? No, it's not. How about that? Wow. NG is really kicking it on QC, and this is another great example of the principle. Alrighty everybody, and here we go with the NG Models 1:400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Tennessee 1 livery. What a great looking aircraft. I'm so glad to have this one. This is a really good looking plane, and it is certainly a fantastic livery. So without any further delay, let's jump into it. Alright, so here we go. We got the cockpit windows, and then we have the nose cone, which looks really nice. Here's the Tennessee 1 titles right here, which is really good. We also got the nose landing gear and the nose landing gear door, which is really helpful. Got the L1 boarding door right here as well in the Southwest Heart, which is really nice. Here we have some good detail throughout for the Tennessee flag. Of course, it's red, and then we have the 3 stars here, so that's really cool. Capital of Tennessee is Nashville. If you guys don't know, I've been there twice, so that's really cool that I've got to go to Tennessee. Here is the antenna down there and the antenna up here. We got the emergency wing exits and some really good detail here on the CFM56 engine once again. A bunch of CFM56s today. Here is the flaps, slats, and speed brake detail along with our scimitar wing. I think this is the first scimitar we've ran into somehow. So here it is. It looks really good and a great job by NG. The main landing gear also look really good in the antennas in the back. We also got the red Wi-Fi box and the back antenna. And of course, like I said, tail number November 8620 Hotel in the Southwest tail right here, which is fantastic. We absolutely love to get to see that. On the right side, we also got some really good detail as well. At the nose landing gear door once again in the baggage doors, they blended super nicely there. And white outline. Actually, the front one might be black. No, it's like I can barely see it. It's either like a really light gray or something. They may change per one, but as you guys can see, they are very hard to see. They blend in really well. And here's the Southwest tail once again. Super glad to have this model. I really hope to get to see this aircraft very soon in real life. Back in February, or late January, excuse me, it was like January 26th or something. Both this aircraft and Illinois 1 came within an hour of each other to Tulsa. So Illinois 1 was not scheduled, but it got subbed in last minute at 1:30 p.m. for the Dallas flight. And then the Tennessee 1 was scheduled all the way and came in for the 2:50 Las Vegas flight, which was super cool. On that day, it was crazy. Envoy Retro was scheduled, but it ended up getting subbed out. But we had the Illinois 1 substitution in. Then we had the Stand Up to Cancer American Airlines livery subbed in, which was really cool. Then we had the Allegiant Golden Knights that came in, which was unbelievable. And then TWA Retro came in at like, I'm trying to think of what time it was. It was like 9 o'clock from Charlotte or something, which was ridiculous. There was also some T-38 Colorbirds and just all kinds of ridiculous stuff. So that was really cool. But yeah, certainly going to have to recreate that. And I'm glad I have that model to do it. And hopefully Illinois 1 here in just a few weeks, months, something like that. But hopefully soon. Alrighty, so our last model of the day is a really great one, as this will be the American Airlines 787-8 Dreamliner, the brand new mold for NG Models. So I'm certainly very glad to have this one. I believe they had to go in the recalls why it got delayed predominantly. I think it was actually on time, which was crazy, but then they forgot the Wi-Fi box, and you can see the CGI doesn't have it either. So I believe this should have the Wi-Fi box if everything goes according to plan. But yeah, so this one, American's newer 787-8 Dreamliner. So you can see the November 880 Bravo Juliet. This one, the newer one. So here's the box. Really cool. We have some gray and that looks to be brown to me. Then we have the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. Here's the American Airlines right here. Really cool that they have the main logo in the back, excuse me. Interesting that it's not the full size of the box, like all the way over, but looks fine to me. Maybe they were trying to center it a little bit better, I don't know. But like it says, American Airlines, November 880 Bravo Juliet, Boeing NG Models 1-400 scale. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep one of the 2015 Geminis and then my 2020 Gemini. So I have all the versions, and I'm going to use 2 of these. So I think I'm currently trying to sell another American 787-8 as we speak. So I'm not sure if I have at this point or yet not, but like I said previously, for the American 737s, feel free to comment if you are interested. But yeah, that model is really good, and I was super impressed with it. But of course, this is just slightly better, so I decided to do it, and I think that will be a great addition to the collection. So hopefully NG goes perfect on QC today. I'll be super impressed, but that is to be determined. Let's see what we got in the box right here. So some different packing once again. I think this looks really good. Do we have a character card or not? Why do I keep calling them character cards? I watched a bunch of Thomas as a kid, so I guess that's why. Thomas wouldn't really, to clarify. So here's the aircraft itself. Looks really good. The color is spot on. Hopefully we'll get some break in the sun one more time so I can show you guys what the color really looks like. And I think we will here in a few minutes. We'll at least have this kind of semi-shaded sun, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's get into it and take a look at this beautiful Dreamliner. This is super nice. It kind of has tabs, if that makes sense. So it kind of just pops out, if that makes sense. Or you have to just slightly, carefully get it out. But here it is, NG's version of the 787-8. It's so weird. I'm used to seeing -9s for NG, but yeah, now we have a -8 mold, and it's honestly super impressive. Great QC and NG. What is going on? Good QC. I can't believe it. This is fantastic. Let's take a look. Also, I nearly forgot about the second one, so let's make sure that the second one's looking good. Box looks good. Let's see if we got a good aircraft in here. We got the character card, and yeah, how about this QC today? I'm impressed. Very impressed. And let's make sure that it's all good by getting it out right here. We do have Wi-Fi boxes. I kind of was in awe, so I forgot to mention that. But let's take a look at this one as well, if I can get it out. It's really nicely packaged. I'm really impressed. Yes. Wow. Super impressed. This is very impressive. And here we have the NG Models 1-400 scale American Airlines Boeing 787-8. Very impressive model. I'm really pleased with it. It looks super good, and man, what a way to round up this unboxing. How about the QC today? We really are fortunate today, and what a great unboxing it's been. Let's take a look at this, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go. We got the cockpit windows and then the nose, very similar to the -9 for NG, so certainly glad you get to see this. We got some pitot tubes and nose landing gear door. The L1 boarding door, we got the Wonderworld logo right here. Then we got the American Airlines Eagle right here that bends out, so that's really cool. And of course, the -8 is super short, so it literally goes right into the wing root. So here's the American Airlines Billboard titles, the first antenna, and the Wi-Fi box. Super glad you get to see the Wi-Fi box. A good job on NG for recalling that. I really appreciate that because they very well could have just said, oh well, but no, they called it, so super impressed. And then we have the panels down here that are super nice. The L2 door, this One World logo, and all the details. Here are the engines. They look super good. I love the detail on those. They look fantastic, so I'm super glad you get to see that. And here's the wing as well. Really good detail, nice and level. I really like that, and that is super nice. We also got the main landing gear that looks super good, and then we got the flap slat and speed brake detail that looks super good here on NG's Boeing 787-8. One element I am really looking at here at the color and kind of noticing is it looks like this one has some gloss. It isn't a huge deal, of course, but I did just want to note that for anybody that may have saw that as well. Here's the Boeing 737-800 put up next to it, and I kind of see it there, and maybe the difference is that this is a wide body, so it's more present, but it seems as if the bottom one is maybe less glossy. The color looks almost identical to me. Maybe just, a hair. I literally mean a hair. Very, very, very neglectable, slightly darker on the Dash 8. But man, really impressive. But it seems like the Dash 8 has more gloss, but again, it could be, you literally can see the size comparison. So, but man, it looks super good. Taking a look at the rest of the aircraft, like I said, the wings look super good. We got the L3 and the L4 door. Registration November 880 Alpha Juliet. We also got the 2 antennas on the back, and then the beautiful American Airlines tail right there as well, and the horizontal stabilizers, which are super nice. And then here on the top of the aircraft, to round out this beautiful model, we got some really good detail, the Wi-Fi box, all that fun detail as well. And on the bottom, we got our landing gears, we got the stand hole, and man, it just looks so good. So glad NG has a Dash 8 mold now. They can really utilize it in so many great ways, and I'm certainly glad to have it. So what an unboxing it's been, excuse me. I'm going to line up all these models. We'll take a full look at them, conclude this amazing unboxing, and really see what it's all about. So let's do it, everybody.
Alrighty guys, what an unboxing today. I'm just looking at all these, and this was a really, really good massive unboxing. So let's take a look at these a little bit more in detail. Beginning with the American Airlines 737-800s by NG Models. These turned out really nice, and I'm super glad to have them. Beautiful models, and they will be great components for the model airports. We have the Spirit Airbus A320. This is a really cool one with the Spirit.com, and I'm certainly very glad to have this one. The Southwest Boeing 737-700. This is in the Canyon Blue livery with the blended winglets. Will be a great addition to the collection, so I'm super glad to have that. Then we have the Colorado one with the Hartel 737-700. This will be another critical component. I'm super glad to have it. Vice versa, we have the Tennessee one 737-800. What a beautiful model, and it is really, really nice. I love that Tennessee flag, and the Colorado as well, but Tennessee really stands out because it's red. Here's the Polar DHL Boeing 767-300 freighter. Super excited to have this aircraft as well, as this will really help the cargo lineup at Dallas-Fort Worth. Speaking of which, we have the 2 American Airlines 787-8 Dreamliners. This is a great mold from NG, and I'd highly recommend it if you're looking for any 787-8s that they're producing. We also have the Air Premia Boeing 787-9. This will be a really nice component to the collection. I'm very glad to have it. Skyly will be very pleased with that. We also have the Boeing 747-400. This is the passenger with the blank, of course, blank livery, I should say. And I'm really excited to see how I can utilize this. Feel free to drop a comment if you have any ideas for me. And we have the China Southern Airbus A380-800. This will be a really cool model for great planes. I'm very excited to have that. And likewise for the South African Airways Airbus A350-900, a really unique model, and my very first aircraft from Africa. So that is very cool. This is a really good massive unboxing. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Very excited for number 30. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be yet. Probably a modern unboxing is what I'm thinking, but I hope you guys are enjoying the frequency of these. I've really been working hard to make it as consistent as possible, and hopefully that's been a nice touch for you guys. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had some fire today, and I'm super glad that we had a fantastic massive unboxing. Expect some reviews of these, and if you guys have any particular you'd like to see, please comment below, and I will be sure to do that for you. But with all that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.